The Jets might have one more splash on their hands before this offseason's over. Let's get into it. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey, what's poppin', everybody? My name is Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boyd Green, but you already knew that, didn't you? Make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe down below for more insightful New York Jets content, including one more possible splash for New York Jets General Manager Joe Douglas. Maybe. Well, we're going to dive into it right now. There's been some flirtations with the Jets in the running back position this offseason. Of course, there was the Ezekiel Elliott forced rumors where he said, I'm interested in the Jets. Well, the Jets weren't interested in him. There was the draft rumors where the Jets and Jahmyr Gibbs. Was that going to happen? Perhaps. Dalvin Cook, the latest, where the Jets said, obviously, we'll turn over the stones on that one. Well, I have another one to dive into, and it's thanks to my buddy, Zach Rosenblatt from The Athletic. He joined me on this very YouTube channel, and we're going to roll the clip where I asked him, could Kareem Hunt make sense, especially since the Jets and Browns had trade talks for him last season? Let's roll the footage.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, it kind of goes to the point I was making earlier about how Joe Douglas is really good at waiting things out and getting guys at below market value because they don't have a market kind of thing. That's why, Quan Alexander came for pretty cheap last year. Al Woods came for pretty cheap. Quentin Jefferson, they got at a pretty good price. Billy Turner, they got pretty cheap. Like, these are guys they signed after the initial wave of free agency, and these are solid veteran guys. And Kareem Hunt definitely would be a guy that would get the fans pretty excited. He's like one of those offseason signings that, especially when there's nothing going on, I think Jets fans would get overexcited about that's the kind of guy. There's a few veteran guys, Leonard Fournette's probably, maybe not the same player he used to be, but he's a solid veteran guy out there that could help. I think there's a couple more. I don't have the list in front of me, but I think he waited out, and if Dalvin Cook's still there in July and he hasn't gotten what he wants and he's willing to take less money, then yeah, absolutely. Give him a 1-year deal with a bunch of incentives, and if he winds up paying a lot, then it was worth it. And if not, then you didn't pay him that much. But yeah, I think that's the move. You waited out, especially the running back position. With so many guys still available, I think that's the right idea.
And again, so we're talking
if the Jets go away from Cook and they want to go bargain bin.
Again, the potential of the Jets making a splash. Of course, Dalvin Cook is sexier. He's better, but he's going to cost you more. He's going to cost you a few more, some coinage, if I may. And I'm all in. And by the way, if you want to dive into that a little bit, within reason, of course. But if you want to go bargain bin shopping, I think the perfect answer that it kind of answers everything for you. The perfect solution to the Jets running back problem is Kareem Hunt. This is a guy who is still super young. He's 27 years of age. He will turn 28 before the start of the season. This guy led the league in rushing in 2017. He's a former Pro Bowler. He is nasty. If you watch the pass blocking game, if he's back there, he's protecting the quarterback. He's an extra mini offensive lineman. I mean, he's at 5'11", 216 pounds. I mean, he brings a little bit of that Brutus beefcake to the table. He can run the football. He can catch the ball to the backfield. And quite frankly, he's used to being in a committee. Look at what happened in Cleveland with him and Nick Chubb, and he's still available here in June. He can be had for relative pennies. This is the kind of guy that, again, may give you the proper bang for your buck. It is a more so Joe Douglas move than perhaps spending and going over the top for Dalvin Cook. This is a guy I want. And by the way, I think it's fair to mention that Joe Douglas called the Cleveland Browns last year, which, by the way, was confirmed by Albert Breer, and they had trade conversations about Kareem Hunt. Here's how they went down. The Jets called the Browns after Breece Hall got hurt in the Week 7 matchup against the Denver Broncos and said, hey, how much is Kareem Hunt? They said, a 4th-round pick. Joe Douglas went, okay, I'm going to go price shopping. And he carried that 4th-round pick price to several different teams. He made a lot of calls across the league. Then he compared it one-on-one, mano-a-mano with the Jacksonville Jaguars for James Robinson. James Robinson, a conditional 6 that might become a 5th if he reaches certain rushing incentives, or a straight-up 4th for Kareem Hunt. Joe Douglas went, I'll take Robinson, which, by the way, at the end of the day, Robinson wasn't great. He did help them in the biggest upset win of the season against the Buffalo Bills, so he scored a touchdown. That was pretty important, and that last drive that milked out the clock, an important piece of that puzzle for sure. So I think well worth the 6th-round draft selection, but you could argue, obviously, that Kareem Hunt obviously is a much better, more proven player than James Robinson. So he's the guy I want. If the Jets can't go Dalvin Cook for a variety of reasons, Kareem Hunt is the answer. You heard it there from Zach Rosenblatt. Absolutely, it makes sense, is his words. The Jets and Browns had trade conversations about him, so obviously the Jets had some level of interest last year, and that was in trade talks. You don't need to trade for him. All you have to do is sign him on the dotted line. It's just a bag of money, and it's not even going to be a bag. It's more like I don't know, a cup. So please, sir, could I have some more? Like a handful of coins is what we're talking about to bring this guy in. And Jet fans, I won't go on a long diatribe here, but I'll just give you a little bit of a slice. The running back room, if you take the green shades off, is not what you think it is. I heard some people tweeting at me this week, at BoyGreen25, by the way, if you'd like to get involved in some of that chatter, if not in the YouTube comments, where they said the Jets were quote-unquote loaded in the running back room. And I, as the most optimistic Jets fan in the world, aggressively push back on that. Breece Hall's coming off a torn ACL. Who knows how he's going to recover? Different running backs have different answers. Michael Carter stunk last year. Was it the offensive line? Was it Michael Carter? I don't know, quite frankly. Zonovan Knight fizzled at the end of the year. Offensive line or him? I don't know. And then he has not played a friggin' snap in the NFL. Could he be a stud immediately? Maybe, but I don't know. That's guesswork. Kareem Hunt, you know what he is. He's led the league in rushing before. He can pass ball. He can run the football. He can catch the ball out of the backfield for pennies. We're talking about pennies. I mean, like veteran minimum-ish, somewhere in that ballpark to bring in a guy like this to make you feel even better about the running back room. Don't you owe it to yourself? Don't you owe it to your fan base? Don't you owe it to Aaron gosh darn Rodgers to be able to put the best possible team out there, ensure depth, be ready just in case that happens? Kareem Hunt should be a New York Jet, and I don't think I can say it any more emphatically or state it any more. He is the perfect piece to the puzzle for the New York Jets. What do you guys think? Let us know in the YouTube comments down below. Also, while you're down there, make sure you give the video a like and hit subscribe, and let us know your thoughts on this potential move that I think could be a key thing by the time the season rolls around. Let us know what you think. Thanks.